Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Let me tell you about my week. Hello? So, last week, I feel like we've already had our summer in Scotland. We had like 3 days of like hot weather and then it's just went back to rain. Like we've just watched it absolutely piss it down outside, but it's still like kind of clammy. Like there's no other worse weather than like rain and like in that humidity of heat and like the moisture's like levels are high and it's just like I'm fucking sweating yet it's raining outside, so I'm still gonna have to wear a jacket, but then I'm also gonna be sweating underneath my jacket and then also getting covered in rain, and I just feel like one or the other, you know, like pick a fucking struggle right now. But the 3 days of sunshine, let me tell you how they went. So one of the first days we were filming and I remember it was scorching and the office, we had fucking all the windows open. I was genuinely boiling. I had a sula, or what people have filled me in of a sula, a sweaty upper, what is it? Sweaty upper lip. What's that? So I had a sweaty upper lip alert the whole fucking time. Sorry if you can see it in the video. Genuinely, sorry not sorry. I was sweating my ass off the whole time. I can't even lie. And then obviously when I left here, plans are just go home and enjoy the rest of the sun. Maybe go to a wee beer garden. But instead, I got a text from one of my friends saying that she wanted to go to Sugo. Had never been before. I do quite like pasta, but I wouldn't call myself like a pasta lover. Like, yeah, I'll make a lasagna or like a spaghetti and like I'd be happy with that. But I was a bit nervous. I was like, okay, I'm going to read this menu, not be able to understand any of it, and like I'm going to get the most like bland thing. And it's going to be mid, and that's exactly what I did. I went, I had heard everyone raving about it. Everyone's been. It's like a kind of like a staple, I'd say, to like the restaurants in Glasgow. I'd say everyone's been and everyone kind of loves it. I've only heard good things. There's not been one person that said I don't like it. So I was like, surely I'm going to love it. So we got in, we get handed these wee menus and stuff, and I'm like deciding what I want. I end up choosing like a vegetarian dish because I'm hearing like it's just like a spicy like tomato pasta, and I'm like, right, you can't go wrong with that. Like there's no way I'm not gonna like this. And when it came, the pasta, it was immaculate, but I just feel like the sauce was just heavy boring. That's so on me though. Like don't get me wrong, so on me. So I'd say yeah, it's kind of overrated, but like that's probably just from like the dish I chose. Like my friends one got a ravioli, one got like the kind of like. I'm gonna sound so uncultured saying this, but like kind of like spag bowl, but like fancy. It was like a ragu, like fucking like this kind of like I don't even know what to call it, but anyway, it looked fucking good. And then my friend also got what I got because she likes vegetarian. She doesn't like vegetarian. She just is vegetarian. So yeah, it was good. We also got the bread, and I'm so fussy. Like it came with like balsamic vinegar, and I'm like trying to avoid the fucking. She's poured it in like the oil and the balsamic vinegar in the same bowl, and I'm like just dipping it in the olive oil. Like I'm the worst to take anywhere. So personally, wouldn't take my advice when it comes to restaurants, but I would say it was kind of overrated. I can't lie. Like just so many people had hyped it up, and I'd heard so many good things about it, but I'd say it's kind of slightly overrated. Maybe that's controversial, but personally, it was a bit overrated. Then after that, I got promised it was a sugo and that was it. Like, there was no drinking, no nothing like that. And then we ended up going out for drinks. Alright, okay, so on a sunny day, we were all thinking, where's cheap and cheerful? So we ended up just getting bevy and sitting at Glasgow Green and having a few drinks until quite late. And then, this is where this video of me, that's surfaced. Oh my god, I actually wish I could delete it. Like, it haunts me. Basically, these two guys came over with this fucking speaker and they're Spanish, and don't get me wrong, they're cool as fuck. Like they were trying to offer us to like play a song each on their like speaker, but like if we got to play a song on their speaker, we have to dance with them. And me, I'm like, fuck it, like I'll dance. Like after a couple fucking drinks, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Fuck. And this video of me like Spanish salsa dancing with this guy, like, and I swear to God, he's like 5 foot fuck all. Like I'm literally like. He's literally, oh my god, it's so bad. I would love to be like insert video here, but I genuinely feel like my digital footprint's bad enough without that ever going anywhere. I actually wish I could delete it from the whole of this existence. But yeah, so, and that was also the night of the Northern Lights. We completely missed the Northern Lights for salsa dancing in Glasgow Green, half cut. Can't say that was like my most proud choice, but you know, it was a choice. So other than that, we kind of just sat in Glasgow Green and we were kind of speaking about like what we were gonna do with our summer plans. Like I remember just talking to them and we were like, "What's the plan?" You know, like we're all planning on having a hot girl summer. Constantly like talking about like who we're dating, who we're seeing, you know, what's going on, like what's the dating apps got to offer, like basic, like what if you want to imagine like what basic bitches talk about, it was literally just that. We kind of decided on like a few rules for summer, like what were kind of like a summer bucket list to kind of tick off. And then we also that same weekend we then went out for drinks again, and then on the Sunday we decided to go and climb a hill. Can't say that was like a really rogue decision to do that hungover, but you know, it was so worth it, don't get me wrong, like it was so fun, but it actually started pissing it down with rain when we get to the top, and I swear to God, I don't know what it is about being on the top of a fucking hill when it starts raining, but the rain felt like BB bullets, like I genuinely, and I wore shorts and like a wee like would you like one of those TikTok fucking gym jackets I had on. It was a black one and black shorts, and I swear to God, every single time the rain would hit me in the back or the back of the legs, I felt like I was getting shot. Like, I swear to God, we were like, we took us ages to get up, and then to get back down, you're like, we had to like, oh, we're like rock climbing this shit. Like, it was barbaric, to be fair, to say the least, especially hungover. But yeah, so we did that. I don't know, like, it's just kind of like, see, when you get a hot day in like Scotland, I just feel like you catch everyone doing the craziest shit ever. Like, you genuinely will catch someone ironing in their fucking front garden. Do you know what I mean? Like, genuinely, you will see people blowing like full having pools out their front, like buying pools for like that one day. I've seen all sorts, especially if you live kind of like in a more kind of scheme bound area or just somewhere where there's a lot of houses and stuff like that. Like they'll have a lot of garden parties, barbecues, everything fucking goes. As soon as the temperature's over 15 degrees and the sun's out, that's it. Everyone in Scotland, mental. It's a free for all, and I can't even lie, like it's actually class. Like I feel like the summer culture in Scotland's just so good. Like it's like immediately sunshine and everyone's like, grab a half bottle, we're going to the park. Do you know, it's just so good. I don't know, the vibes are kind of always there. Another thing that I'm going to get up to this summer is probably just, I really want to learn how to drive this year. I feel like that's kind of something I need to tick off my bucket list, and learning how to drive. I'm thick as mince and I genuinely I'm not trusted in a fucking go-kart, let alone an actual car, so that's something I kind of want to tick off. I'm getting a bit old, so I need to kind of learn how to drive. I feel like it's just something that like people this age, it's kind of like what do you call that, like muscle memory at this point. Like loads of my pals all drive and shit like that, and I don't even know how to drive. Like I don't even care about having the car, I just want a license at this point just to say I can do it. Like I can drive, but we'll see, maybe that'll be a next summer thing for me. I feel like it's going to take me a long time because all I am is a blonde bimbo, apparently. Not wrong. But yeah, I don't know, other than that, I don't really have many other, to be fair, actually, I did have a bucket list that I feel like doesn't really count, but it was kind of like a yearly bucket list, and I really wanted to graffiti a wall, learn how to drive. What else was on it? Go to a comedy gig, and also go to a jazz club. I feel like those are kind of like the 4 things that I'm going to try and tick off this summer, or maybe if it doesn't happen in summer, just make it the whole yearly thing and try and tick off them as like the year goes on. But yeah, so those are kind of my ideas. I kind of like, has anyone got any holidays booked for that? I don't actually have any holidays booked yet. I feel like I'm probably going to go at the end of the year when like the summer's just ending, just to get the most out of it. I'm not saying that we're going to have like the most sunny July or June here, but you know, it's kind of worth a bash, and then I can fuck off in like August when it starts to get a bit colder. But yeah, so that's kind of my plans. I haven't really been up to much other than the other day there I went out for my friend's birthday. Shout out Gabby, hope you had a good day. Really sorry for leaving really early. I felt so bad. We went to that Bongos Bingo in Glasgow, and I'm not gonna lie, I got day drinking for me. Can't say I'm made for it. I really feel like such a lame cunt. Like, I'm the lame pal that like will get gassed way too early and then will jeopardise the rest of our day, like genuinely. I'm kind of like that all the time. It's so bad. So yeah, anyway, so I had a couple cans of AU on the train. I'd lost my passport that morning. It was actually atrocious. I genuinely was like emptying everything out. I was fully dressed, and her dress code was wear pink. So I obviously was like full Barbie mode, like pink ruffle skirt, everything sorted. And then I was like, right, cool, makeup, hair done, and I was ready to go. And then I was like, wait, where the fuck is my ID? And if you know me, I lost my provisional such a long time ago. Full wallet, missing card, money, the usual, gone. So I've been having to use my passport for the foreseeable for ID. Very humbling, can't say. Like, honestly, I can't lie. It's so humbling bringing your fucking passport everywhere. Everyone else is showing their IDs that they don't. It's just a wee, like, driver's license or provisional. And I'm having to actually just hand them my passport as if to be like, can you get a stamp as well? Like, as if I'm in a fucking airport. So yeah, I'm looking for my passport, cannot find it anywhere. Now, I feel like losing a provisional is already bad enough, but a passport, I'm starting to panic. Text my pal whose car I was in last, and she's like, right, cool, I'll check after work to see if it's there. I'm like, listen man, I don't have till after work. Like, this event starts in like an hour and a half, and at the train there's like 45 minutes. I'm stressed. At this point, I've already missed my train and had to text to my pals her boyfriend was driving us to the train station. They're gone, like, they're already on the train at this point, and I'm still like searching for my passport, and I just accepted my fate. I was like, you know what, maybe I'm not going to go today. Emptied my bag, and it was like one of those, see in a clip of a movie where like they're looking for something and it's just like a beam of shine, like beam of sun just comes down and like it's like, oh, like that. That is exactly what happened in my room. Like, genuinely, that was the exact envisionment of what happened to that passport when it came bouncing out my pole bag. Don't know why I was in amongst my pole heels and stuff like that, but I digress. I found it. So I was like, class. My mum was like, jump in the car, we're going. So I had to get on the next train. Wasn't too bad, but I think drinking a few cans on the train yourself, just not really the vibe. But when I got there, they were still in town. They had to go to the toilet anyway because they were all ready to piss themselves. So I was like, right, cool, I'll wait for yous. We'll jump in a taxi together and we'll go. So we all got an Uber. Kind of to separate into Ubers, actually. It was a pain in the arse. It's one of those ones where it's like, why does Uber not invest in getting a bus or something? Like, why they not got a minibus on the Uber app already, or like, I don't know, like get boogie buses or something like that. I feel like that would be that's a great idea. Anyway, do something like that. I need at least a 12 or 13 seater thing of transport for me and all my mates. Like, I'm not splitting us into two Ubers ever again. That was awful. I feel like there's more important things in life to worry about than that. But anyway, so we got to the event really early. It's fucking scorching. I'm roasting. I'm sorry, right? But day drinking's bad enough. But see, when it's scorching outside, like, the last thing I want to be drinking right now is alcohol. Like, I swear, like, I am such a pussy, lightweight. Like, call me everything under the sun shite bag. I'll take it. I am dying at this point. I'm like, the only thing I want is hydration. And what I'm doing is just dehydrating myself even more. So anyway, we get to the fucking SWG3, we're outside, and we're like, right, fuck it. I'm chain smoking fags. I'm like, I don't know if I can go in this venue at this point. I am sweating. Another Sula from me. Sweaty upper lip alert everywhere. Like, I'm like stressed. We go in. Let me tell you, it was a great time, but none of us won the bingo. Like, I don't know what it is about that place. That's the second time I've been now. Swear it's rigged. I'm joking. It's definitely not rigged. It's just our luck is shit. But yeah, we had a good time. And then after that, we came out, and I'm like, I feel so unwell. Like, I feel like shit. Like, I've started getting a migraine. I wonder why. I've just dehydrated myself, and the only type of liquid I've had is VBLs. So I wonder why I'm not feeling well. So we come out, and I'm like, right, I need to whitey. And I'm thinking, right, there's a guy, like a bouncer standing on the door right now. I am going to need to like tell him, oh my god, like, I'm about to be sick, but I'm going to need to prove that I'm not drunk, because he's going to think, like, basically what happened in Aleah's mind was, if I spew in front of him, he's going to think I'm really drunk and I'm going to get booted out. It's like 4 p.m. at this point, something like that. It's a bit early to be, getting booted out of fucking SWG3 for being steaming. So I was like, I promise I'm not drunk. I literally had taken 2 right, this is my fault, I know, before everyone comes for me. I took 2 paracetamol and 2 ibuprofen on an empty stomach, and I swear to God, they were coming straight back up. I thought I'd be able to tank it, but unfortunately not, and I was going like hook, line and sinker big time, and I was like, I need to be sick. Like, when you can feel it coming up, and you're like, I guarantee any minute now, I will be looking like a fucking, like, a hose. Great, nice enjoy imagining that. So yeah, I had to say, I'm like, listen man, I'm really sorry, like, blah blah blah, like, I feel really sick. And he's like, no, don't worry about it, I've just had a guy, like a lassie, like a wee gal come over, like not that long ago, and she just waited in the bin behind me. And I'm like, king, like, thank you so much, appreciate it so much. Went back in and I was fine. I don't know, I feel like just talking to him kind of healed me a wee bit. I was like, I feel kind of better now. So anyway, slay him. Unfortunately, after that, I would love to say that I healed and I managed to enjoy the rest of my night, but I did not. We then went to Driftwood after that, and then I don't know why anyone chose Driftwood, to be fair, because we were put in a table right up the back, and it was like a sauna in there as well. It was roasting. So I'm thinking, I'm sitting in here maximum 10 minutes and I'm whiting again. Like, I'm on the way. I'm on the way. At this point, I'm being sick, and I don't even know where the sick's coming from. I swear I didn't even drink this much. And also the food didn't help, before anyone says, did the food help? The food made it worse. Yeah, I ended up walking, my pal ended up walking me slightly outside Driftwood, and I ended up puking again. Great. And then after that, I had to call it a day. Like, I genuinely was like, right, we have to call it a day and go home. And that was basically how I spent my sunny days in the sun, was drinking and whiting. So, that was great. It's your turn, bitches. Time for the new segment in our podcast where we hear you out. So you guys really came through in one of my latest TikToks. The TikTok was just about the girl they tell you not to worry about. So I feel like a lot of people can relate to that experience and have, and believe me, what we got was really, really good. We got so many comments and DMs and stuff like that. And if you don't also follow us over on TikTok, we post loads of videos and you guys can interact and get in contact. You can also DM us on Instagram if you don't want to comment on TikTok. And our Instagrams and TikTok handles are just Hear Me Out Pod, but instead of an O, it's a 0. So yeah, so if you've got any experiences you want to share, give us a wee DM. So I thought I'd react to a couple of the comments and a couple of the DMs that we got today. And let me tell you, some of these are absolute horror stories. So this is a DM we got. I'm going to keep everyone anonymous. I'm not going to say any names. Don't worry. I'm not about to completely name drop anyone on this. So this is our first one. Hi, I saw your podcast about crazy exes and I have a belter. So I was seeing this guy last year for a good 8 to 9 months. Everything seemed picture perfect. He was everything a woman wanted and more, until we got into an argument and about something silly, and instead of being a rational person and trying to talk about it, this grown-ass man in his late 20s, by the way, threatened suicide. I brushed it off and we continued on for another few months until I found out he was married. I asked him if they were separated when he said they were, so I took that as gospel. In brackets, stupidity. And oh my god. I not long after found out this man had a whole ass family and was using me to have an affair. I tried to end it, and again he came out with you'll see my funeral arrangements in the paper. I can't live without you. I can't live my life without you. Me being me, talked him down, but that was the end of it, and he kind of just blocked me out of the blue, which I'm grateful for, to be honest. So this is a lot to unpack right now. I personally think that's insane. There we go. There's another great kind of reason of, this is actually, do you know what, I kind of respect this so much, because this is kind of like the other side of it, so that she is the kind of girl that, you know, he would be telling his wife not to worry about, and this is kind of coming from her perspective, so it's kind of crazy to hear it from, like, you know, the other side of the fence. I feel so sorry for you, girl. I hope you're doing okay now. I hope you're able to kind of like mentally kind of, you know, come back from that. I hope you've took the time to heal as well, because I can't even imagine having someone constantly threatening suicide and stuff like that. That's intense. And I feel like if anyone's ever in that situation, that is genuinely a clear sign of manipulation. And 9 times out of 10, like, they're gaslighting you and just trying to keep you around and stick around. Again, it's not really something that they should be threatening on you. And if anyone is really making threats and, you know, it's kind of making you uncomfortable, it's probably best to just take a step back. Again, a touchy subject because it is about suicide, but you cannot be threatening people on with your using your own life. You know, you can't be making girls feel like that, or making anyone feel like you're going to take your own life because they're not going to stay with you. I have heard this kind of stories in the past where guys have threatened to kill themselves, or people have threatened to kill themselves because they can't live without them. Please don't use that as an excuse, or please don't use that as a reason as to why that person should stay in your life, because it is complete and utter manipulation. Even if you may mean it, you genuinely cannot put that on a person. That is really, like, it can just really affect, like, that's going to affect someone's life, you know, like, that's going to affect their day-to-day life. That's just not something that they should ever talk about. But yeah, that was a great example of you know, like, literally the girl they tell you not to worry about, because that's exactly what she was. I hope his wife's alright. I wonder where she's at. I kind of want to hear from her now. I'm like, well, if you think it's you, give us a call, because I kind of want to know if she's still with him or she's experienced a similar thing, because I'm telling you. Another thing too, if you feel like he's chosen another girl over you and you've been left in the dust and he's living his best life, 9 times out of 10 this man is not. If he has moved on right away, he has not took the time to heal. He doesn't know what it is to heal. He knows nothing like that. He is genuinely just going off on a whim. So if you feel like your man has chosen another girl over you, or you are that girl, 9 times out of 10 he is not changed. So just beware. We have a good few comments actually to go through. So the next one I'm going to say is, I'm going to read out this one. Literally going through this problem right now. Got a wee boy and she knew about us both. Both of them disgusting. Always seems to be the girl at work as well. This is actually not the first time I've heard stories about men having an extra work wife or stuff like that. And by the way, when I say men, I am just speaking from personal experience. I am not saying a man could not have this experience before I get a bunch of men calling me a bimbo and shaming me in the comments. I just say it because that's what I would say. I'm not going to sit and say everyone as a whole. I'm going to just say these are about men. This is all personal experiences. No one take it to heart. But I genuinely think that is so vile, especially the fact that the girl also knew about her. I've heard so many stories about this. It's like almost like the work girlfriend is like trying to, or the work wife is just trying to like outdo the actual girlfriend. Don't try. Just, oh my god, like I cannot stress it enough. It's like it's not hard to be a girl's girl. It's also not hard to respect someone's relationship. But I feel like genuinely, if you do stuff like that, you cannot respect yourself. Like if you're not respecting relationships and going out your way to like try and home wreck, you clearly just don't respect yourself. And there's not much more I can say about that other than that's just so wrong. The only time I'll cut the girl slack is if she had no idea and the guy's completely lit on that he was completely single. But, you know, a work, mate, that's brutal. There's no need for that at all. And the fact that there's a child involved as well, that's disgusting. So I really hope he gets his karma big time for that and you find someone so much better than him. And also the work girlfriend gets her fucking karma, because that'll happen to her again. If you're going to do that to someone, karma is going to bite your ass 10 times harder. Don't even try it. And also if he's cheating on his actual girlfriend with you, what makes you think he's not going to cheat again? Do you know what I mean? Like, once a cheater, always a cheater. Like, yeah, you can maybe change in a couple of years, but I still believe, like, nobody who cheats can be a good person. Point blank, period. So we had he told me not to worry about her and I was crazy. 2 weeks later, I found that they had been sleeping together for 3 months. Always the way. So, again, I feel like there's a thing about, like, a womanly gut instinct. Like, you fully just know, like, I knew there was, like, I had a gut feeling about a couple of, like, my exes and there always was another girl. So, you know, when you've kind of got that gut instinct, or, like, they're kind of, like, proving to you that if they're kind of not giving you the same amount of attention they were before, just be wary. Like, just beware. Like, I'm not saying they could always, maybe he's got some personal stuff going on, but usually that's what he'll put it down to. He'll say, I've got personal stuff going on, and there's, you know, like, oh, I'm struggling and stuff like that. But he's showing to another girl he's absolutely fucking fine, and he's taking her out, and he's seeing her, and she's not getting this depressed, sad side of him. What the fuck? You know, like, what the fuck? Like, stand up, girl. Move on. He's not worth it. And 9 times out of 10 they won't find better than you as well, by the way. Like, they'll think the grass is greener. That whole 90-10% thing, they'll look for someone that has that 10% that they're missing, and then they'll get with her and then they'll realise, fuck, the grass is really only greener where you actually water it, you know. So if you keep jumping fences, mate, you're not going to find any green grass. But yeah, so oh my god, some of these are actually, I feel so bad. Yeah, he sat and told me she was like his little sister and he would never do anything with her, and the next day he was kissing her and staying over at her house. That's another one as well. If he calls her a friend, little sister, you know, oh, she's like family, nothing will stop these men. Or another one that I've heard too is like, oh, she's like a cousin to me. You know when you like grow up and your parents are really close and then you just call someone your cousin when they're actually not blood? I'm telling you, nothing will stop these guys. I got grown up with someone and he got called, like, I've called him my cousin my whole life. And then he tried fucking getting with me one time and I was like, this is so wrong. Like, this is kind of, it's giving inbred, you know? It's just something wrong about that. Anyway, and someone else has said, I was called crazy and a psycho for 10 years until he finally admitted, after we split, that the girl I was worried about was in fact the girl I should have been worried about. Another one, they'll call you psycho, they'll call you crazy, they'll call you every single name under the sun. Don't let it bother you, like don't let it faze you. At the end of the day, you had reason to feel like that, and if you have reason, if they've given you reason to believe that, then you have every right to feel hurt. And another thing they'll try and say is they'll blame you for looking into it, or like always looking for a reason to like, you know, not believe that they're telling the truth. And if they try and throw that whole, she's psycho, she was constantly looking for issues, she was constantly looking for problems. Yeah, because you're the one that gave her the fucking problems. Do you know what I mean? See, if you were just picture perfect, there was no real reason for her to check, or to, you know, check your fucking following, check your likes, or check this fucking workmate that you have at your work that you call your work wife. You know, there won't be a real need for her to do it. Okay, we have another one. This one's fucking awful. He cheated with her whilst I was at my dad's funeral. She knew about me. They're now happily dating. Another situation of two people who, one home wrecked and one cheated, and I genuinely have to say they're better off suited together. Like, I know you probably feel at a loss right now, and you probably feel so heartbroken because you really love this guy, but I am telling you, it is for the greater good. And if she's going to do that to another woman and backstab her like that and home wreck, let her have him. Genuinely let her have him. Because if you feel like he wouldn't do that again, or she wouldn't do that again, then you're wrong, because they probably will get bored of each other and do it again. Because the guilt, and also the fact that they both have done that consciously, will be eating them both alive. If they're really bad people, the guilt will be, maybe not even just guilt, but the fact that they've done that to each other will be festering. And then they'll be maybe not consciously, but they will be thinking about the fact that, you know, is she going to do that again to me? Or is he going to do that again to me? Is he going to find someone better? Is she going to find someone better? And that will be their whole relationship's dynamic. So just leave them to their own devices. You deserve someone better that wants to actually be with you. And actually, just to add, if you are dating anyone that would do something like that behind your back whilst you're at a funeral, I feel like that is probably the hardest sign of you deserve better and he is lame as fuck. Like, I feel like that would be closure for me, to just be like, wow, this guy really is a lame guy, you know, and like, she's a cunt too. Let them have each other, because that is actually like the lowest of the low. Like, I've heard whilst I was at work, whilst I was, you know, out with my friends, not whilst I was at a fucking funeral. Like, what? Like, that's insane. So that is all I'm going to read today. If you want us to hear you out again, let us know. Give us a DM over on our Instagram, or give us a comment on one of our TikToks. They are Hear Me Out Pod with a 0 instead of an O. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this segment, please let me know and keep commenting and DMing us your ideas. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!